Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Thursday, May 16th, and we'll be taking a look at what all energy wants to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. And if you haven't already checked it out, I did post the videos for the second half of May, where I'm looking, I start with the sign grouping and then pull cards for each sign individually about what to expect in the last half of this month. And it also highlights what are some of the planetary transits, when the sun, like for example, the sun moving into Gemini, I believe it's on the 20th, and some different things like that when the, planets move into different alignments and full moons and whatnot. So make sure to check those out if you haven't already. And we'll go ahead for today's reading. I'll pull the cards for the collective. Then I'll go sign grouping by sign grouping and pull a card about what is the challenge for that grouping and what is it that they need to do to overcome that. So as always, though, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And I will be doing some additional readings over the next week as well. Things like twin flame readings. Is this your person? Pick a pile. So make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when the new content posts to the channel. But let's jump in. What energies are coming out in general? We have our Eight of Cups in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse, and then we have the Hierophant in reverse. So all of these are coming up as reverse energies. First off, here we have our Eight of Cups in reverse, and this is going to be about kind of feeling stuck and you're avoiding making some sort of a change. So there's kind of this stuck energy that's out there. With our Page of Wands in reverse, this is this like dull, indecisive energy. So it kind of goes along with that feeling stuck, like you just something feels off and it's like, something's got to give, but I just don't know what. And then with the Hierophant, this is about breaking out of patterns, and it's, thinking outside of the box, maybe doing something a little bit unconventional. So I think that the Hierophant in reverse coming out is kind of a direct response to feeling stuck and you don't really know what to do. It's kind of that indecisive energy. Maybe you've tried everything that you can kind of reasonably think of this is what society or what my family would expect me to do to get out of this rut. And maybe it's just a matter of you need to push and do something even a little bit crazier, a little bit more bold to try to move that energy a little bit more to give you just a happier, freer, energetic flow. But let's go ahead. We will start with our air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And let's see, what is the challenge? Talk to me about this feeling stuck and indecisive. What is this challenge about for our air signs? Challenge is the Knight of Wands in reverse. So the Knight of Wands energy is like this. It is this courageous, kind of fearless, adventurous energy. In the reverse, it's a little bit more of this like anger and recklessness and sometimes even a sense of arrogance. So as you're sitting here thinking through, what do I do? Like you have like your challenge here is, what do I do about this Knight of Wands situation? And you feel like you're blocked from that courage, that adventurous type of energy. For some of you, you may be one of those, normally you're kind of like that free spirit and, I always want to try something new. And it reminds me of at the end of Titanic when they show Rose's quarters on that other ship, the one that's going out to try to find the heart of the ocean. And there's all of these pictures from her lifetime. There's pictures with her next to a horse. There's pictures of her with her like foot up on the edge of an airplane, so she's doing all of these things. And, so with this card being in the reverse, like this would be that energy that go out, do something different, do something fun, do something unexpected. But this way, it's almost kind of like not really that feeling. It's not that powerful. I'm going to go do this. It's almost like, hey, I'm tired of the situation. I'm just going to go off and do this or that, so it's still that same level of courage, but it's like it's the shadow side of that. So instead of pouring your energy into something that's like exciting, it's almost like pouring it into this like gritty, I'm going to just punch my way out of this this tough situation. So I guess that's probably more of the image. If you feel like you're stuck and you don't really know what to do, this is your challenge. Don't get into a feisty mindset where you're trying to fight and claw and punch your way out of this indecisiveness. Flip it around and be inspired out of that mindset. Be positively driven out of that mindset, as opposed to, like I said, like punching and fighting your way out. All right, let's pull one of the major arcana cards and see what's going on for our air signs. What other messages want to come through for you? We have the Emperor. This is that divine masculine energy. It's that powerful leadership energy. And like I said, when I was kind of looking at this Knight of Wands card, the idea of you can either be courageous and inspired and let that inspiration pull you out of that spot, or you're going to be that scrappy fighting your way out of that spot. The Emperor energy is definitely the first one. It's the let yourself be inspired and boldly go where no one has gone before. Like that sort of energy to get yourself out of this indecisiveness and feeling stuck. All right. You'll need to put in more effort. If you're stuck right now, also with this Emperor energy, in terms of getting yourself out of being stuck, the Emperor energy isn't, I'm just going to sit here and wait for my knight in shining armor to come and rescue me out of this situation. The Emperor energy is, I'm getting myself out. I am doing it. I'm going to get myself out of this. So it's definitely that sort of energy. And with this, you need to put more effort into it. You need to be the creator of your experience, not I'm going to sit back and wait for somebody else to do this. I'm going to wait for, who is that? Ed McMahon with Publishers Clearinghouse to knock on my door and yay, my life gets better. You need to put in more effort. Alrighty. And then we have Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Love yourself, others, and every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. For some of you, and this is kind of coming through because with Mary Magdalene and the idea that she was a twin flame, as well, kind of the whole thing of, if this is your scenario, if you are in that situation, don't be the damsel in distress that's waiting for somebody else to come and save you. You need to, sit in that place of unconditional love, but it's unconditional love for yourself. So with this coming up, that kind of prompted me on the twin side of don't be waiting for the other person to come and save you. You need to save yourself. And it may be thinking outside of the box. It may be doing something totally different and unexpected, something that's true to you, but not necessarily what others around you would expect. All right. Open mind. Replace the old cycle with a new and exciting one. And this is going very strongly with this card. Look at those colors matching up. You need to put in more effort and not continue to spin your wheels doing the same thing you've always done. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. So this is this open mind. What could you do that's a little bit different? What, even within this card, you've got all those blues and greens, and then all of a sudden right here, you've got this bright, yellowy, orangey, pinkies. Do something different. Keep an open mind that maybe there's something different that you're being called or inspired towards. So that's the message for our air signs is if you want to get out of this rut, it's on you, air signs. Sit in this Emperor energy and say, you know what? No, I'm going to move in an inspired way to get myself out of this situation. And put in the effort and you will see good results there. All right, that was air signs. Now we are on to our fire signs. So Spirit, give us a little bit more information here about what is this rut that our fire signs are stuck in. This sense of, with our 8 of Cups in reverse, like you're avoiding making changes and you feel like you're stuck So talk to us about what is that stuckness. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. So that is what your stuckness is about. And it's about this overbearing, selfish energy and kind of this envious. There's kind of this element of envious energy that's going with feeling stuck. But let's pull one more card and get a little bit more clarification. So there's this overbearing energy that's keeping you stuck. You might, the Lovers. If you are connected to this person, it's almost like you're in a partnership maybe with this person who is just overbearing. And every time you try to make a move, every time you try to change your experience, this person is there like, no, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm saying that we're doing. And it's leaving you feeling stuck and kind of indecisive, because if this is a romantic relationship, with the Hierophant being out there in the upright, the Hierophant is about traditional things like marriage. So if you have an overbearing spouse who is, who's sitting there and it's kind of that selfish energy and no, this is what we're doing. I'm telling you, this is what we're doing. It over time can definitely wear you down. Like at the beginning, it might be like, oh, well, this is nice. This person's taking charge. They're taking the lead. And at some point, then it just turns into oh my gosh. So that's what this Queen of Wands in reverse energy. It's about your personal relationships, that your partner is overbearing and it's leaving you feeling stuck, because every time you try to move or do something a little different, it's kind of like, nope, right back in here. So that is in the challenge space. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, the Lovers card, this is also, it also has to do with a decision. If you've been trying to make a decision, but you feel like there's somebody who's trying to control that decision for you, it can also be leaving you feeling stuck, like you're not the one that's calling the shots in your own life. So that's kind of the energy that's coming through for our fire signs. So that's for our Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Let's pull one of our major arcana cards and see what else is coming out. All right, this one jumped. So the Star, that is about that hope and optimism, that when you wish upon a star. And the Devil in reverse. There is hope, and it's almost like if you were feeling stuck and you're wanting to move in one direction, but this energy in your life is keeping you from doing it. It's not keeping you from dreaming, though. It's not keeping you from hoping for a different future. You're also getting this energy of the Devil in reverse coming in, which is excellent energy, because this is about breaking free. The Devil in reverse is about breaking free from anything that is keeping you from living your highest purpose, keeping you out of alignment. This could be, as we talk about this a lot on the channel, that devil energy, it can be things as 3D as, alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling addiction, shopping addiction, overeating. It's also the mental things that keep you from being on your life path, things like procrastination, things like, self-deprecating thoughts, things like allowing this narrative in your mind to play out about you're inadequate, you're undeserving, oh, I'm always so unlucky in love, like whatever these negative monologues are that you're having, that is also that devil energy. So right now you are being pushed to break free from that. And from a timing perspective, if you're wondering what the timing for that looks like, if not now, when? This is kind of that whoosh, motivational kick in the butt to get moving on it, because especially if you're feeling like you're stuck and at this point of indecision and you're avoiding making a change, that is a condition that it's not like everything was fine up until Tuesday and now we're sitting here on Thursday and I still don't know what to do. That is a much longer time frame. That type of energy coming out together, it is a much longer time frame than that. And this pattern of having an overbearing partner who's kind of running the show, calling the shots, whatever you want to say, that is a longer duration pattern. And if you've been avoiding making a change because usually it doesn't end up working out the way you want it to, this card, this if not now, when? Like, this is your life to live. Are you going to let somebody else call all the shots? Like, this is the, are you going to let this person set the parameters of what your experience on this planet is going to be? Or are you going to step into your power and say, you know what? No, there's never going to be a perfect time for this. There's never going to be a perfect time for that. If I'm waiting for, all of the holes in the Swiss cheese to line up just right, that's like taking 100 slices of Swiss cheese, jumbling them all up, stacking them up. Are you waiting for all 100 of those slices to have a hole that goes straight through the middle? It's not going to happen. Like, you have to make those opportunities happen. Your goddess card is Dana, High Priestess. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. You have gifts to share. You have a good story to be able to share to inspire other people. But, are you going to be brave enough to share that, to reach out and, share that message? All right. And some of this, as you think about it, it's going to take some outside of the box thinking. Life may not be playing out the way you thought it was going to, when you were 20 years old and looking forward to your future. But, live life according to what is making you happy and what's driving you. All right. So the jumper card here that we have is Return to Joy. We are here to experience joy. And I know I've said this before, but you're here to learn lessons, not to wallow in them. Not to stew in them, not to sit here and just be miserable and, the self-flagellation or whatever of, oh no, I just have to suffer. That's how I know I'm learning the lesson. I'm suffering. That's old, outdated paradigms. And then the card that I pulled was Happy Life. Live a less guarded life. And I feel like this is really, really important as you break free, this guarded life is if there's this devil energy, if you know that there's devil energy pushing on you, even if it's subconsciously, you are sort of guarded because you're always expecting that devil energy to come out. So if you can live this happy life less guarded where you don't have to energetically or mentally put these walls up, that's going to serve you way better. All right, that was our message for our fire signs. Now let's move on to our earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's take a look at what wants to come through for you. So talk to me about this challenge. What is this indecision? What is this feeling stuck and avoiding change for our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? The sun. So you're avoiding sitting in your blessings, but there's new energy coming in. It's going to be this fast moving energy of overcoming obstacles. So whatever has kept you feeling stuck and avoiding making change, it looks like there's going to be some fast moving energy related to that that's going to bring in your blessings and going to help you overcome those obstacles. So this is excellent, excellent energy for earth signs. But then we also this is the challenge. This isn't what's coming in. This is your challenge. I was looking at that as I was flipping this. So the energy that is coming in is the Fool in reverse, and that is avoiding making a change. So this Fool in reverse is consistent with your Eight of Cups in reverse, which is avoiding change. It's that feeling of indecision. I don't know. The Fool is also like afraid to take that leap. So that's the energy that's coming in. This is in your challenge space. This is the challenge, is letting some of this fast moving energy come in. The challenge is overcoming these obstacles. The challenge is you don't feel like you're living your best life. You don't feel like you're sitting in this sun energy of your blessings because you're resisting this positive change. So let's pull some of these cards. Relief shall come quickly. But here, let's pull one of these. What do our earth signs need to do? What do they need more of in order to break out of this cycle? What do our earth signs need more of? Ooh. So this is in the in the reverse, your Six of Wands in reverse is about disgrace and disappointment and almost kind of like this sense of defeat. So the phrase glutton for punishment is running through my head. It's almost like you have this sense of, well, I can't make any changes. And the way that this is reading is it's almost like you have to hit rock bottom, like absolute rock bottom, and then the relief shall come quickly. But let's see what else we've got here. Compassion. Release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. Right now, there's more energy being focused on what is wrong with everyone. What is wrong with you? This energy of focusing on what is bad, focusing on the negative aspects of what's going on right now, as opposed to the positives. But also when you're focusing on the negatives, it's almost like that's keeping you stuck because you're so invested in that narrative. Finding the path. You are the driver and the navigator. So if the coordinates, these greens are showing up together. If the coordinates just keep telling you, if you're entering the same terrible address over and over again into your GPS, you're going to get to the same terrible spot over and over again. You have to put different instructions into your GPS to take you somewhere else. You can't keep putting in, if it was the ex who broke your heart and totally destroyed you, you can't keep putting their address into your GPS and hoping that you're going to end up on the doorstep of the man of your dreams. You're putting in the address of your ex who totally broke your heart. You are going to continue to be sad. You need to put different, you need to put different instructions into your GPS. So that's kind of, with finding the path. But it's coming across, with this energy, what do you need more of? And having it be that energy of disappointment and disgrace. It's kind of coming across like you're a little too stubborn and bullheaded right now. And it's going to take a pretty big humbling. It's going to take a pretty big disappointment to bring you to your knees to realize, wait a second, this is not a good idea. So that is a, cautionary word to earth signs that you may want to reevaluate what your current path is. Challenge cards first. So water signs. That's going to be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's take a look at what is your challenge. What is this situation, this situation where you're not wanting to move on, where you're feeling stuck, where you're feeling this dull, indecisive energy. What is that challenge? The Fool, and then Page of Pentacles. So in the challenge space, we have the Fool and our Page of Pentacles. So our Page of Pentacles, your challenge is having that loyal energy, but also the moving on. So it's almost like the challenge here is that you have too much of this loyal energy, but it's almost like it's loyal energy for the wrong reason. Like you're in this unfulfilling place because the Fool is also your challenge. And the Fool is about taking that leap of faith, like having trust in the divine. In the traditional tarot deck, if the Fool is looking this way, you have the sun over here. So it's like divine blessings at your back, and the wind is at your back, and look, you have this great new adventure you're starting out on. This one with the Fool, with her throwing everything out of her purse, it's almost kind of like you're left with nothing. You're starting all over again. But this Page of Pentacles energy, this loyal energy, it's almost like you're staying loyal to a situation because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Not because that's what you want to do, but like that's what society says. And if this is for example, if this is a job, a career situation, you're staying with the company, even though they're really not treating you well. Maybe, you haven't gotten a raise in forever. Maybe you've gotten a pay cut. Maybe you have to work longer hours, whatever the case may be. And so your challenge of like that loyal, ambitious energy is, yes, you're loyal, but why are you staying loyal to this company that isn't valuing you? Is it because you think that, oh, well, if I stay at a company for 20 years, that makes me a better person? And if that's the case, why do you think that does? All right. Water signs. What energy is coming in for you? Temperance in reverse. This is that energy of imbalance. Now, remember as well, this is Archangel Michael. In general, you can pray to him for protection. He is also the keeper of the twins. But temperance in reverse is about having some sort of imbalances. And when you're looking at feeling stuck, a lot of times that's because there is an imbalance in there. You're not joyfully in that scenario. You feel like you're stuck. So whether it's, your boss is controlling you, making you feel like you have to stay, whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a parent, you feel like you're stuck, and that's because there's an imbalance of power within that situation. Listen to your anger. It's trying to protect you. So whenever you have these big swells of emotion, those emotions at the core level are pointing you to some sort of truth, something that needs to be looked at more closely. If you're getting angry about something, it's because your subconscious has looked at this and deemed it that you are being treated unfairly. And it is trying to protect you by spurring you to fight for whatever the situation is, to fight for more respect, to fight to be treated better, or, whatever the case may be. So that anger is trying to protect you and is trying to point you to something bigger. For your card, we have green Taurus. Start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. Call in your guides, call in your soul tribe, your ancestors, the archangels. Call on them for help and for guidance and for clarity in terms of what it is that you should be doing. If it's a work scenario, maybe it's a matter of actually learning truly to delegate. And that can be tricky if you're somebody that's very particular, kind of type A. Sometimes delegating is very tricky because it's a matter of, I remember that from having, my account managers, oh, here, could you write this, send this letter to a client, and they would bring back to me like the draft to take a look at. And there's that initial thought of, oh, well, this could be worded a little different. This maybe word this differently, maybe, and then at some point there's that, no. If I'm asking somebody to do it, if I'm trying to delegate to them, unless it is factually incorrect or it's, offering the wrong advice, I can't correct for style. I can't correct for tone. That is their voice and I'm delegating, so that's the key is when you delegate, don't micromanage, delegate, let that task happen. And, like I said, unless it's factually incorrect, unless it's offering inappropriate advice, like to clients or, even if you're delegating chores to a child, a partner, whatever, okay, you may have done the chore differently, but unless they're getting ready to pour, 5 times the amount of bleach into the laundry where it's going to ruin all of the clothes that are in there, let somebody else do it. Let them pick up that slack. All right, so the 2 jumper cards here, we have work of art, be the portrait of divine beauty, and fine wine, longing is the portal to wholeness. So this is kind of like with that longing is the portal to wholeness. Longing in terms of what are you being called to do a lot? Like whatever that kind of longing is, that whine in your head of, I really wish I could be a painter. If that's something that goes through your head all the time, then that is kind of, your calling. That will help bring you some sense of wholeness. So that, listen to what those recurring thoughts are. And are they ones, if they're positive ones, like, oh, I'm longing to do this, I'm longing to do that. How can you incorporate that into your life? Because that's your soul calling out to you saying, this is really important. This is really important. So make sure you're listening to that. And then be the portrait of divine beauty. So sitting in that loving energy, sitting in that energy of I'm listening to my soul. What is my soul telling me to do to be in alignment? Because that's a really powerful place to be. And that definitely has that divine beauty to it when you're sitting in your soul space and you're glowing because you're in alignment. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.